What's up, my dudes? In this video I'm going to teach you how to do a very basic focus and concentration spell. This is going to be using a white candle. This is good for mental clarity. It's also good for other properties, but this is the main focus we're going to be using this for. And this was just an extended candle that I just cut off the top for, just to make it a bit easier to work with. Also, depending on the spell, you don't necessarily need a bigger candle. You could also have a shorter, stockier candle if you want to, but this is about average size for most of you. Next thing we're going to need is lemon essential oil. Make sure you get the pure form of the essential oil and not like a perfume additive or something that has a mix of oils. Just want pure lemon oil, and this is good for mental alertness. It's also a pretty fragrant oil, so you can have this for enchanting of other items if you want to add that effect to it. But this is what we're going to be anointing the candle with. And then to sprinkle on top of the candle, we are going to be adding rosemary. Rosemary is good for sharp focus, but it's also good protective herb because you also want to always add protection into whatever you're doing. So to start out, we are going to start with some sort of stick or something. This is the only thing I have present, but just anything that you can use to carve, and then you're going to carve your intentions into the candle. If you want to create some sort of sigils or anything that you want, you can add this to it, but just create your sigils and carve it onto it. And then once you're done, and you have all your intentions or whatever sigils you want added to it, you can start with your lemon oil. We're going to be applying this from the base to the tip because you want to increase something and sort of upbring something. If you wanted to maybe focus something onto you, or maybe you wanted to lower something, you would put it from the top to the bottom. Anointed, what you want to do is grab your rosemary. Now you can pre-crush this beforehand, but I find that it's fine, especially if you buy in bulk and you see the sort of shape that they're in. It's pretty uniform. If you get a cheaper version, or maybe you get a lower quality bundle, it will be like more sporadic and maybe not fit on as much, but that just depends on your materials. You could also use the fresh version if you want to, but this is for beginners, and I believe this is a lot more attainable than having some fresh rosemary with you. Now that your candle is good and coated, it doesn't need to be perfect, and it doesn't need to be fully saturated. If you really wanted to compact and get as much material on here as possible, I don't really recommend doing that because it could mess up the flame. But if you want to, you can just have this on a flatter dish and you can roll the ingredients into it. That will help press it into the candle a bit more, but it'll also create more of a barrier around the outside. Since this is for focus and concentration, we're going to be using the strength lighter. This is good for strength mostly, but also the orange and yellow is for courage and focus. So we're going to be using this for the candle. If you would like to, you can also add a certain sigil onto the bottom, like the base. If you want, you can have like a petitioner or a bay leaf or something. You could have that on the bottom and you can burn this on top of it. Then you can keep that bay leaf. If it isn't burnt, you could just keep that on you, and that's a little bit extra that you can do. But we're just going to be lighting this, and as you're lighting it, you want to say your intentions, and you want to use the lighter as sort of the fire that's starting the process of your goals. So as it's burning down, you need to be stating your goals that you're going to be using to achieve. And then as it's reaching the bottom, you're going to be giving gratitude and appreciation for the spell's success. Once your candle is lit, like I said, say your intentions. You want to be having your palms facing upward if you're charging it this way. This is good for releasing the energies into the candle, and then once it starts to die down more and you're more established in your goals, you can lean more towards this, which is more of the gratitude and also the more settling of the energies that have happened as you're burning your candle. If you want to do a little bit of candle reading, this is a very basic, simple flame. This is a good flame that you want to work with. You don't really want something that's too high because then you might be focused on the wrong thing. You want to keep a steady, consistent focus, just like this flame. That's the end of the video. If you would like to know anything else about witchcraft or witchcraft related content, just leave it in the comments below. This spell is for anyone that wants to attract any sort of focus or just wants to have a bit more mental clarity into their life.